Sometimes the most unexpected heroes have for pause and a whole lot of curiosity. Let me tell you a story about the Parkers and their unforgettable first camping trip in what felt like forever. Picture this. Mr. and Mrs. Parker, their two kids, a van packed to the brim with gear, and one very determined passenger. Their beloved cat, Whiskers, had decided he was not, under any circumstances, being left behind. Mr. Parker laughed, shaking his head. "Cats don't camp," he'd said, trying to coax Whiskers out of the van. But Whiskers was having none of it. He'd plopped himself right in the driver's seat, tail flicking with an air of authority, as if to say, "This trip isn't happening without me." So, with a shrug and a smile, the Parkers welcomed their furry adventurer along for the ride. Hours later, they found the perfect spot by a serene, glassy lake. The sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange and pink. As darkness fell, the family worked together, their laughter echoing through the quiet woods. The tent went up, sleeping bags were unrolled, and soon, a cozy campfire crackled to life, casting a warm, golden glow on their smiling faces. They roasted marshmallows until they were perfectly gooey and brown, telling stories and pointing out constellations in the vast, starry sky. It felt perfect. Absolutely, undeniably perfect. What could possibly go wrong? As the night grew deeper, Whiskers transformed into a little explorer. He sniffed every corner of the tent, his nose twitching with fascination. He chased after the twinkling fireflies, batting at them with gentle paws. He even crept close to the fire, mesmerized by the glowing embers, looking like a tiny tiger on a grand expedition. The kids, Tom and Lily, giggled at his antics, officially crowning him Camp Captain Whiskers. All they wanted was this one perfect night, a memory they could cherish forever, just the four of them. Well, 5 of them, together under the stars. But then, a small problem arose. Lily, the youngest, couldn't find her favorite flashlight. "I just had it," she murmured, peering under her sleeping bag. Thinking it couldn't be far, she told her parents she was just going to look for it by the edge of the trees, just a few steps away where she'd been playing earlier. "I'll be right back," she called out, her small figure disappearing into the twilight. At first, no one thought anything of it. A few minutes passed. The crickets chirped, the fire crackled, and the conversation continued. But then, a sudden, heavy silence fell over the campsite. Mrs. Parker looked up. "Lily? Honey, did you find it?" No answer. Mr. Parker stood up, a knot of unease tightening in his stomach. "Lily," he called out, his voice louder this time, tinged with worry. The woods, which had seemed so peaceful just moments before, now felt vast and menacing. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sounded amplified and terrifying. Panic began to set in, cold and sharp. Mr. Parker's calls became more frantic. Mrs. Parker grabbed a lantern, its beam cutting a nervous path into the darkness. But there was still no reply. Just as despair began to take hold, a sound cut through the tense silence. A faint but clear meow. It came from deep within the trees. Before anyone could react, Whiskers darted from the fireside and shot into the darkness like a furry arrow, his tail held high like a tiny flag. His eyes, catching the faint light, glowed like 2 little green beacons. Without a second thought, the family followed him. They crashed through bushes and weaved around ancient trees, their hearts pounding in their chests, keeping their eyes locked on that little, determined silhouette. And then they saw her. Huddled at the base of a huge, fallen log, was Lily. She was crying softly, clutching her flashlight, its beam now dead. And right there beside her, pressing against her and purring so loudly it was almost a rumble, was Whiskers. He hadn't left her side. He was her brave little guardian in the dark. The wave of relief was overwhelming. Tears of fear turned into tears of joy. Lily ran into her parents' arms, squeezing them tight. Mrs. Parker knelt down and stroked Whiskers, her voice a soft whisper. "Looks like someone just earned a hero's medal." Back at the warm, safe glow of the campfire, Lily wrapped Whiskers in her own blanket, snuggling him close. Even Mr. Parker, looking down at the purring cat, had to smile. "Well, I stand corrected," he admitted with a chuckle. I guess cats can camp after all. As the fire crackled and spit sparks into the night, Whiskers curled up proudly in the center of their little family circle. He wasn't just a pet anymore. He was the tiny, furry hero of the night. And as if to celebrate, a cascade of shooting stars streaked across the ink-black sky, a silent, glittering applause for their brave little cat. The next morning, as they packed up their gear, the Parker family felt different, closer. They decided to commemorate the spot. Mr. Parker took out his pocket knife and carved a small, makeshift sign on a piece of wood, christening the area Whiskers Watch Point. Years later, when Lily was old enough, she returned and replaced that simple sign with a more permanent one she'd made herself. It still stands there today, weathered by the seasons, and it reads, "Here, our cat found more than a flashlight. He found our light." From that day on, the Parker family returned to that very same spot by the lake every single summer. It became their tradition, their special place, and it served as a beautiful reminder that every grand adventure needs a hero. And sometimes that hero is the one you least expect, a small, brave soul with whiskers and a whole lot of heart. Thanks for watching. If you love this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more wholesome adventures.